Are your players rude? Do they never bite your plot hooks no matter how obvious you make them? Worst of all, do they watch Critical Role? Sounds like you need Zariel, hellish commander and slayer of D&D parties since 1999. She's guaranteed to destroy your players and bring you some respect. Don't believe me? Here's everything Zariel has to offer. Let's not beat around the bush. Zariel will aggressively pursue a conviction, and with her Monsters of the Multiverse package, she has the tools to put the hurt on your party. Every turn, she can make 3 attacks using her Flaming Flail or Flaming Sword. She loves fire. What can you do? Each deals an average of 53 damage, and with a plus 16 to hit, she's not missing. And if she can, the devil will replace one of those attacks with her Horrid Touch. Unless the defendant succeeds on a DC 26 con save, they're taking 8d10 necrotic damage and are poisoned. But not just regular poison, it both blinds and deafens them. So if she uses that first, those next 2 attacks are coming at advantage against whatever poor player she's decided to focus on. But don't worry, they can save at the end of their turn, if they're still alive. Despite specializing in prosecution, Zariel still has lots of ways to keep your players from building a case of their own. Her defenses are top notch, an AC of 21 is formidable, and her 420 hit points go even further when she resists cold, fire, and radiant damage, and outright ignores necrotic and poison. She can't be charmed, frightened, or poisoned, and if your players attempt to use their spells to get one over on her, she'll have advantage on any saves thanks to magic resistance. And even if she fails, 3 legendary resistances means she can have it overruled. And if your party tries to drag things out and slowly whittle away at her case, they'll find that strategy nullified by her regeneration. At the start of her turn, she gets back 20 hit points, unless she took radiant damage, which again, she resists. Zariel's not above using every trick of the trade to win a case, and that includes magic of her own. She has access to a whole host of spells, with a save DC of 26 that can help her control the proceedings. She can turn invisible, blast a witness with Finger of Death, or split the courtroom in half using Wall of Fire, making it easier to pick off lone defendants. Sure, the judge might not appreciate that both benches are burning, but I bet they'll keep their mouth shut. When the prosecution rests, normally that means your players can try to defend themselves. But Zariel has other plans. She gets 3 legendary actions each round to wreak havoc between her players' turns. She can use 1 to teleport anywhere within 120 feet. Good luck catching up, marshals. Or 2 to use her immolating gaze. She stares at a player, and if they fail a DC 26 wisdom save, they burst into flames and take 4d10 damage. Again, she really likes fire. Combine that with a fly speed of 150 feet, and when it's not her turn, she'll be teleporting through the air, staying out of reach of your party, and burning them one by one. So go ahead, players, plead your case. She's not listening. Of course, Zariel's not coming to your party's local courthouse to do business. She's dragging them down to hell. Avernus, to be exact. And when she's doing business in her lair, watch out. On initiative count 20, she can take one of 2 actions. First, the fallen angel creates 4 terrifying illusions around the room, and anybody who can see one has to make a DC 26 wisdom save or become frightened. That means disadvantage on attacks, and they can't move closer to their source of fear. So if positioned right, Zariel just gave herself a barrier from any pesky players trying to get too close. Second, she can cast Fireball. That's it. More burning people. I get she's the devil and all, but it really is a little excessive. Don't tell her I said that. And yet, even the best lawyers need a great team, and Zariel has lots of help. Pairing her up with other devils like Arinyes and Pit Fiends is incredibly mean, while her cultists, or as we prefer, interns, can take on extra traits to be even deadlier. Ferocious Surge, which lets them turn a hit into a crit once per day, and for her leaders, they get Infernal Tactics, letting them swap initiatives between themselves and up to 3 other allies. You know what they say, behind every great lawyer is a bunch of fanatical followers willing to die for the cause. With all that said, nobody's perfect, and while I would never say it to her face, Zariel has a few shortcomings. So here are some best practices to help you get the conviction you desire. 420 hit points is a lot, but against bigger, high-level parties, all of the attacks will add up. So remember, that's just the average number. But in truth, she gets 29 d10 plus 261 to work with. Who's to say she didn't max roll every time and get 551 instead? Certainly not me. Second, she is incredibly reliant on dealing fire damage to really stick it to your players. Meaning if they have a resistance or even immunity to it, she's in trouble. Horrid Touch and Finger of Death help her get around it a bit, but if you know that'll be an issue with your party, make sure to give her minions that deal other types instead. Or have her entire lair under the effects of the Hollow spell, which lets you make creatures of one type, humanoids, vulnerable to one kind of damage, fire. That would be very rude, and very in character. Last but not least, one feature that might not grab your attention is her Devil Sight, which lets the fallen angel see through magical darkness. That won't come up in most fights, but if you're really trying to get every gold coin's worth of value, consider giving her cultists who can cast darkness around the battlefield. Advantage against any players who are blinded, protection from spells that require them to see her, and if she teleports into an area of total darkness, your party will have no idea where she went. That's terrifying, and that's why you should hire her. If you need your players taken care of and don't mind the smell of ash and despair, then Zariel is your answer. Sure, sending a CR26 archdevil after your party because they beat one boss a little too quickly might be seen as overkill, but you'll be too busy dancing on their graves to care. Zariel, the devil, is in the details. Did that make sense? Whatever, it's good enough. Zariel is not liable for any burns, immolations, or charring that occurs while working a case, no matter how bad. Payment should be made in the form of agonized souls, preferably warriors who can fight in the blood war. Zariel does not accept cases involving Gloomstalker Rangers, Asmodeus, or anyone who can cast silvery barbs. Also, I was joking about Critical Role. If you see this, Matt, I'm so sorry. Oh, and crit your players.